Adrian Okwudili had everything a man could ever want: wealth, fame, and influence. At 37, he was the CEO of Okwudili Holdings, a tech empire that stretched across Africa. He lived in a mansion that overlooked the Lagos Lagoon, drove cars that sparkled under the sun, and hosted parties that made headlines. But amid all the glitter, there was one thing Adrian couldn't stand: his wife, Amara. Amara was gentle, soft-spoken, and humble. She preferred simple dresses to designer ones, home-cooked meals to expensive restaurants, and quiet nights to loud parties. To Adrian, she was boring. He had married her 5 years earlier when he was still building his company. Back then, she stood by him when money was tight, cooking for him, helping him with his business paperwork, and encouraging him when investors turned him down. But now that he had everything, Adrian began to see her simplicity as a flaw. One evening during a high-profile business dinner, Amara appeared in a plain floral gown, elegant but modest. She smiled politely at the guests, offering a few kind words. Adrian's business partners' wives shimmered in gold and designer gowns, their laughter loud and confident, when one of them whispered, "Is that really his wife?" Adrian's pride burned. That night, as they got home, he snapped. "You embarrassed me today," he said coldly, loosening his tie. Amara blinked, confused. "Embarrassed you? I only—" "You dress like a village teacher, Amara. Do you even realize who I am now? You still think we're struggling? I'm not that poor man you married anymore." Her lips trembled. "Adrian, I thought you wanted a woman who could make a home, not a show." He scoffed. "I want a woman who matches my status. You don't." The silence that followed was heavy. That night, Amara slept alone. Weeks turned into months, and Adrian grew colder. He stopped coming home early, started attending parties without her, and was often seen with models and socialites on gossip blogs. The tabloids began calling Amara the invisible billionaire's wife. Then one morning, she found divorce papers on the table. "I'm sorry it has to end this way," Adrian said without looking at her. "You deserve someone more like you." Tears filled her eyes. "After everything, Adrian? After I stood by you when you had nothing?" He looked away. "You'll get a good settlement." Amara looked at him for a long moment, then nodded silently. "Keep your money. I only wanted your heart." Those words haunted him, but his pride was louder. A month later, the divorce was finalized. Amara left his mansion quietly, taking only her Bible, her mother's wrapper, and a small suitcase. Adrian didn't even watch her go. At first, everything seemed perfect. Adrian threw himself into his company and social life. The parties were bigger, the women flashier, but slowly things began to change. A major investment deal in Dubai collapsed unexpectedly. Then one of his trusted partners was caught embezzling funds. Within 6 months, Okwudili Holdings was facing bankruptcy. Adrian's reputation crumbled. The same people who once begged for his attention stopped returning his calls. Journalists hounded him. His mansion became quieter than ever. He tried to fix things, but it seemed as if every decision he made turned to dust. Contracts slipped through his fingers. Clients withdrew. Even his lawyer abandoned him mid-case. One night, alone in his vast sitting room, Adrian stared at a photo on his phone. Amara smiling as she watered the plants on their old balcony. That smile used to annoy him. Now it was the only thing he missed. "What did I do wrong?" he whispered. One morning, desperate to save his company, Adrian met with a potential investor named Chief Ibekwe, a calm, elderly man known for his deep connections and wise counsel. Chief listened patiently to Adrian's pitch, then leaned back and said, "Your proposal is strong, but I'm more interested in who's behind it." Adrian frowned. "I'm the CEO." "I know," the chief said, "but I prefer working with Amara Okwudili." Adrian froze. You know Amara?" Chief chuckled. "Of course she runs a foundation that sponsors young women in tech. Her projects are changing lives. She's one of the most respected names in business philanthropy right now." Adrian's jaw dropped. "Amara, my ex-wife?" Chief nodded. "Yes. She mentioned she used to help her husband manage his business before he got too busy." Adrian felt the air leave his lungs. The woman he had called ordinary had become extraordinary without him. When the meeting ended, Adrian sat in his car, staring blankly at the steering wheel. His fortune, his peace, had left with Amara. Weeks later, Adrian found Amara hosting an event at a community center in Yaba. She stood on stage speaking to young women about resilience and purpose. She looked radiant, not because of wealth, but because of peace. After the event, he approached her slowly. "Amara," he said softly. She turned, her eyes widened slightly, then softened. "Adrian, I I don't even know where to begin," he said. "Everything fell apart after you left." She sighed. "You didn't lose your fortune, Adrian. You lost your foundation." He nodded, tears in his eyes. "You were my foundation." Amara looked at him, not with anger, but with quiet strength. "You wanted gold, but I was clay, and you didn't realize clay is what holds gold in place." He fell to his knees. "I'm sorry, Amara. Truly. I lost everything that mattered." She helped him up gently. "I forgave you long ago, but forgiveness doesn't mean going back." Adrian nodded slowly. "I understand. I just wanted to thank you for reminding me what truly matters." She smiled faintly. "Be humble again, Adrian. That's where your real fortune lies." Months passed. Adrian sold his mansion, downsized his lifestyle, and started mentoring young entrepreneurs. He volunteered at Amara's foundation, not as a CEO, but as a helper. He learned to listen, to serve, and to rebuild with integrity. Amara never returned to him as his wife, but she became his friend and greatest teacher. And whenever Adrian spoke to young businessmen, he often ended with one line: "Never despise what looks ordinary. It might just be your missing fortune." Moral lesson: true wealth is not measured by money, titles, or luxury. It is found in character, humility, and the people who love you when you have nothing. Many lose their greatest blessings because they chase appearances and forget values. A person who seems ordinary may carry the extraordinary grace that sustains your destiny. So cherish simplicity, honor loyalty, and never look down on the hand that helped build your success, because pride destroys faster than poverty, but humility restores faster than luck. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, hit like, share with someone who needs this reminder, and subscribe for more powerful African stories. What lesson did you learn from this story? Tell us in the comments section below. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload.